Hey.
Oh, hi.
Do you know what time it is?
It's time for the Punching Judys
Judys
Bad Advice.
We told you once and we told you twice. We can't recommend our bad advice. We can't recommend our bad advice.
Well,
We've got some great letters here today.
Well,
I
I do
think.
love it. I love
this
it.
one is long.
oh,
This person had quite a story to weave.
oh my.
They've honestly told me a little bit too much.
Is it like a whole novel?
Almost, it's like a short story,
On
really.
this week's segment of Bad Advice.
It's like a whole press release.
Chapter 1.
All right, here we go.
right.
This is from I'm a Give a Karen. Or
What?
I'm a Given Care. I'm a Given Care.
Oh, I'm a giving care.
I'm a Given Care.
Yeah.
All right, here she goes.
All right.
Hey, Judys.
Hey,
As
Judys.
You are supposed to address all of your letters to us, tweet with. You're just letting you know.
Because we're the Judys.
We're the Judys. Hey,
That's
Judys.
right. That's right.
Hey, Judys.
Hey, Judys.
Recently, I scheduled for a first date with a guy I'd been talking to for over a month. We were texting regularly.
Well, that's how it was with Michael. We talked for quite a while.
Yes. We were texting regularly, and he had tons in common. We had tons in common.
Okay.
On the day of our meetup, one of my associates took a hard fall at work. She was fine, but when she stood up from the table, she fainted and fell on her face in the corner of the table. Oh my God.
No.
It was really, really bad. Lots of blood and a big gash from the forehead to her mouth. Jesus Lord.
Oh, no, that's horrible.
Since she has no family nearby, I followed the ambulance and went with her so she wouldn't be alone. That's very sweet.
Oh, my God.
As soon as I knew what was happening, I texted...
I mean, I would do that, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely for you. As soon as I knew what was happening, I texted this guy with a brief summary of what happened and let him know that I'd keep him posted.
Okay.
This is around noon. Her sister arrived from the next state at roughly 4:30 p.m. and at around 4:45 p.m., I texted the guy and let him know that I was going to be home, go take a shower, and I'd be able to meet him for our date.
Oh, well, that works. That's great.
Yeah, I never heard back from him until the next day. When
What?
he did, he texted me back saying all was fine. I'm glad she's okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of short and snippy.
Huh.
Weirdly, I hadn't heard from him for about 10 days, so I texted him and said, I'm sorry about how things turned out, but that I would like to reschedule our date because I enjoyed getting to know him.
Oh, of course.
The text I got back says verbatim, you shouldn't stand me up for someone who wasn't your family. Fact. You really didn't have to stand me up.
What?
Gay people. I really can't reconcile why he feels like I stood him up when I texted him immediately and then followed him up when I knew I could still meet him that evening. And secondly, why he would have expected me to leave her alone during such a tragic event. He's making me feel like I did something terrible, but I feel like I did the right thing. I wouldn't leave someone to suffer that situation on their own. Did I do something wrong? I'm a Given Care.
Well, actually, it's not a gay people, apparently.
Well, I mean, but we kind of... It could be. We just sort of give them fun names.
Well, that's true. But
In my head, I feel like only
I think
a snippy little gay man
you've had
would...
this experience before.
I feel like only a snippy little gay man could make these kind of comments.
Well, maybe he is. Maybe he's
You've got to be a dirt bag.
He is a dirt bag.
Here's what's probably happened, and I'm gonna give Ima's date a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be empathetic for once, which is very hard for me because I am a sociopath.
You're always pathetic.
This is what I probably think is happening with
Okay.
Ima's date. He has probably been stood up so many times now that he has no goodwill in dating anymore. He probably thinks that Ima's lying. He's probably thinking this person is just trying to get out of seeing me, which it's not good to be paranoid like that. You have to meet people at face value. You have to meet people where they're at.
Well, listen.
And if they're, if they're lying to you, then that's too bad. But you have to give them at least the benefit of the doubt and say this person's probably telling the truth.
Well, you have to take people individually.
Exactly.
Like if I judged everyone by every douchebag I ever met, there would be no one left for me to make friends with or to have relationships with.
And that's why you have no friends.
That's such a lie. You know it. Whew.
But yeah, I think.
I mean, if I had judged Michael by every douche guy that didn't show up for a date.
Absolutely.
I mean, I had one guy show up for a date once, and he looked at me. And listen, I know I'm a little on the chubby side. I mean, I know I am.
Okay.
But he literally looked at me and he said, "No, you get on a low carb diet and we'll talk."
My God, really?
I know. Yes. was really.
Oh,
It's just, and then he
jeez.
just got in his car and left. And now listen, if I judged every man by that
Woof.
one douchebag,
Yeah.
I mean, I would never date.
Yeah. That's rough.
Listen,
Damn.
I'm just glad I'm just glad I've got a heart made of styrofoam.
Me too, because
'Cause
shit.
otherwise it'd be broke.
Otherwise, you'd get clogged.
No, it was terrible. I thought, well,
That's awful.
You are a terrible human.
Yeah, I mean, that's a wretched thing to say to somebody.
Yeah, you know.
You can think
But
it all you
listen,
want, but,
being
you know,
a
no,
puppet
joking.
and having to live in a human world,
Yes.
I have discovered that humans are not. They're kind of
They're kind of mean.
sketchy.
They're awful.
They're a little sketchy.
They're awful people sometimes.
Not all.
Not
But
all,
The thing
no.
is, that's why I always try and give
Right.
them
The benefit of the doubt. Exactly.
That's right.
You have to do that.
You have to sort of judge
You
everyone
have to do it.
individually.
Here's the thing, folks. I'm a given care. I am talking to you directly. You have saved yourself so much trouble.
Why not talk to her indirectly?
Well, kind of am. But
That's
you
true.
know, I'm trying to make him. I'm looking at her right in the eye. And I
Okay.
hope you're
Let's look
watching.
at her in the eye.
You have saved yourself so much trouble because this person was going to give you a life of hell.
That's
If
right.
you ended up dating them.
That's
The only thing that you could do better than this situation by not talking to them again would be finding an assassin, hiring them.
Why is it always death with you?
It's not. Listen. I'm not saying that they should kill them. That's is new for me. I'm not saying that they should do the murdering. I'm saying you should hire someone
It's
else
always murder
to
with
do
this
the
one.
work. Well, let's be honest here. I think that shitty people like this would be the world would be better off without them.
Well, listen, there's a lot of people we'd be better off without, but I'm not sure that a bad date
We
interaction.
told them once, we told them twice, we cannot recommend our bad advice.
Well, that's
That
true.
is bad advice.
That's
I'm
true.
giving the name of the show.
murder isn't bad advice.
Legal disclaimer, we're not being serious.
That's true, because you know what Marvin Speck said about that,
And exactly.
and also your lawyer.
Exactly. Exactly.
So there you go.
So just get an assassin, snuff him out, and it's probably for the best. I'm sure his family would be very happy that he no longer is bitching to them all day and night about the 5,000 men who have done him wrong. Because it sounds like he's that kind of person. They're just no good guys anymore. Everyone's just so mean. Everyone's so bad. I'm like, baby, it's you. Look at yourself in the fucking mirror for once.
Well, that's true.
In the fucking mirror. If everybody thinks you're a goddamn pill, guess what? Call yourself Tylenol, sweetheart.
It would be fun to kind of mess with his mind a little bit.
Oh, really?
You know, like you obviously met on an app.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could make a new
Oh, God, you're saying catfish him?
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and have that person also ghost
That's
on him?
right. That's right.
Oh, that's cruel. I love it. That's even better than murdering him, honestly.
Honestly, you know, I actually maybe even have it be a very similar circumstance.
Oh.
Like, you know, my sister suddenly went into.
Oh, yeah. Have like just a chain of just do this multiple
Somebody
times.
accidentally gave birth.
Yeah,
and
and just a medical.
Somebody had a car
Yeah.
accident.
You'd probably make the man go crazy. He'd pull out all his hair.
He kind of deserves
His
it.
perfectly coiffed twink hair would be ripped out in seconds.
Well, you know, here's the thing. I could see it if she had done this or he had done this. I don't know. Whoever
In my mind, it's a little gay boy.
But whoever it is, I mean, I could see it if this is something they had done before.
Right.
And I mean,
Right.
I do question that. Like, had they had a date, had they canceled a previous
Of
date? But
course, of course.
It doesn't appear to be from the letter.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to go back to being serious and empathetic. I have been in situations where there's just been a string of disappointments, and at some point you're just like, I've had enough.
That's true.
I'm just over it. And you don't always react the way that you probably should.
That's true.
And that's what therapy is for, friends.
That's right.
Go to
That is right.
therapy.
He needs some therapy.
He needs some therapy,
That's
Ima.
right.
You
That's
can't
right.
give him the care that you've been given to someone else.
That's right.
Because he needs his own therapist.
Oh my Lord.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
But you know, there's a lot of I like I said, I've been out on some shit. Did I ever tell you about the date I went? I hate app dates, really.
Yeah.
I went out on this date, and I'm surprised that Michael turned out so well.
Well, you never know.
He's pretty. Listen, he's pretty sweet. We'll know after our trip. I always
will.
say if you travel with someone,
Oh, absolutely.
you definitely know if it's going to work out.
Absolutely.
So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it would be very interesting.
But I don't know. I went on this date once, and this guy, he
Which guy?
the guy that I went on the date
Bill
with.
Nye the Science
Oh,
Guy?
my Lord.
Bill.
I kept saying no. He kept hitting me up.
Oh, God.
And I was like, and I'm just not interested. I didn't feel like we were a match.
Yeah.
You get that instinct.
Yes.
In your heart, it's just like, I don't
In your
think
hearts
there's-
and your parts.
That's right, in your hearts and parts. And so finally he wore me down.
Oh, God.
Have you ever had that happen?
No. I block them.
Oh, well, he wore me down.
Yeah.
And this was when I was a little less cynical. And so I said, okay, meet me at my work, and we'll go out for a little dinner afterwards, and maybe get a drink. And he's like, well, I'm not a drinker. And I was like, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, I have a problem with alcohol.
Okay.
And I was like, well, thanks for being honest.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're like, I don't have a problem with alcohol, though. In fact, I am alcohol's problem.
But anyways, so I was waiting for him. He was late, about 10, 15 minutes late. But that's, listen, we live in Seattle, and Seattle's
It's
got bad
sort of
traffic.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was, like I said, you got to give some people.
Yes.
So he says, where do you want to go get some dinner? And I was like, you asked me out. Why didn't you do a little
Reconnaissance.
research and figure out something?
So he was late, but you didn't meet. You didn't meet at the dinner place?
No, he came to my work.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was weird too.
I would never want somebody who doesn't know me to know where I work.
Well,
That was your first mistake.
Yeah, it was probably.
He probably was going to stalk you.
But so I said, well, we could just go across the street, and so we went across the street, and the first thing, I don't know about you, but
Did he take you to Papa John's?
Oh, it was just some kind of it was a taco stand, basically.
Oh, I like a taco stand.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but so then we sit down, and the first thing he does is he's like screwing with his phone.
Oh.
And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's like, my ex.
Oh, God.
And then I had to hear an hour
Oh,
about him and his
God.
ex.
Oh,
and he's
geez.
texting with his ex.
That's a nightmare
And while
already.
he's texting with his ex, he goes and he gets a beer. Now, he's not supposed to drink beer because he told me he has a problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that...
But it's not your responsibility.
No. That's right.
Yeah.
So, I was just thinking, well, this is strange.
It's very strange.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna be gone. I said, well, thanks for the tacos, and he's like, well, let's go next door and I'll buy you a drink. And I was like, well, I really need to get going, and he's like, well, no, let's get a drink. Well, I did. And he sat there and texted with his boyfriend and proceeded to get very drunk.
This is a life lesson for you, Ruby.
It was terrible.
Never let someone force you into going on a date with them.
Well, that's right. Well, so then I was like, finally, well, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks,
Yeah.
and have a great night. And I because I'd had a couple of drinks myself, I got on the bus.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't going to drive.
Right.
Because I'm not that kind of a person.
Well, no, it's stupid. It's reckless
And,
and stupid.
So I'm on the bus, and I get a text, and he says, that was a great date. Thanks so much.
Thanks for being my therapist
He
for the
said,
night.
We should do this again real soon.
Oh, my
And I
God.
texted back.
Hell no.
I was like, this is the worst date I've ever been on. You
Oh,
were
God,
terrible.
I love
was like,
that.
you broke all the rules.
Yeah.
Like, you
Late,
did everything. And
cheap.
then he has the nerve to text me and say, you were a really shitty date, actually.
He's like, you're an ugly bitch, and I felt bad for you. That's why.
That's exactly.
It's the same song and dance every
Oh,
single fucking time.
I was
It's like,
just like, wow.
that's why, baby, you don't talk to him. If you're not interested, don't talk, just block.
That's right.
That's my method.
I learned that.
That's
after
gonna be
that.
my new catchphrase.
Don't talk,
Don't
block.
talk, just block. You
That's
gotta
our
do it
new
like this.
T-shirt.
Don't talk,
Just block.
just block.
That's our new T-shirt right there.
Don't talk. Just
All right,
block.
well, should we get on to
Don't
the next
talk,
one?
Just block. Next one.
Actually, that was kind of like a RuPaul song.
Yeah, right? Okay, next letter.
We told you once and we told you twice. We can't recommend our bad advice.
We have another letter. Are you ready?
Listen, I am, but I'm still recovering from
I know,
reliving
reliving.
my
well, hopefully this
bad
one
day.
doesn't trigger you either.
Whew. It did trigger me.
Well, that's okay.
I feel triggered. I hope he sees this and knows he was.
I got my finger on the trigger.
Woo!
I ain't letting go.
That's right. That's right.
I got my finger on the trigger. I ain't letting go. Mama used to tell me, girl, you better load your gun up right. You know that song?
I don't.
Oh, it's Donna Summer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
is a great song.
It's a great song.
You know, Donna Summer was quite a
homophobe.
Well, you know, it's kind of controversial. Some people think she was, and some people say she wasn't. So
It was complicated. She's a complicated gay icon.
She was.
Because that music, baby, she could be the biggest hater in the world. I couldn't let go of that music. That she made some of the best disco music that has ever existed.
She claims that she didn't. That it was taken out of context.
That's fair. That's fair.
But you know, it's sad that it left such a complicated legacy, especially during Pride Month.
It did.
You know?
Right, well,
so, anyways, come on.
This is from Nadia Bambina.
What is it?
Nadia Bambina.
Nadia Bambina.
Nadia Bambina.
Okay, well, let's go
We'll get
for
some
it.
Italian viewers with this one. Nadia Bambina. All right.
I love Italians.
Me too, baby. I love Italian sausage.
Little Italian pizza.
some
I know
sweet-
you like the pizza.
Well, we don't talk about that right now.
That's right.
Hello, Judys.
Hello, Judy.
Hello, Judys. My husband and I just gave birth 2 weeks ago to a beautiful baby girl.
Congratulations.
This is the thing that gets me from the get-go, though. I hate when people say, my husband and I just gave birth. Honey, you gave birth. Your husband did jack shit.
Well,
We're pregnant. You're pregnant.
Well, he may have been very supportive.
I'm
though.
sure he was, but I'm just saying, baby, you gave birth to that baby, okay?
All right.
You own that shit. He didn't have to do that. You did. Anyways.
All right.
They gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, and they picked the name Evie after
that's
her late
cute.
grandmother.
You know, my ex-mother-in-law had a dog named Evie.
I love that. Well,
It's a cute name.
Dogs and babies.
Yeah.
My hubby and I were in total agreement on her name and very happy about it.
I like that name. Do you like that name?
I love the name Evie.
Yeah, Evie.
Yeah, Evie's a cute name.
That's very cute.
His mom came over a few days ago
Oh,
and kept referring to her as Sophia.
What?
Insane.
She's calling the baby Sophia?
This is insane. After a bit, I corrected her thinking it was a slip-up. But she said, well, I really don't like the name Evie, so I'm just
Wow.
going to call her Sophia. It's a much more sophisticated name. This sounds like something Hyacinth Bouquet would do.
Oh my God.
Well, I really don't like the name Evie, and Sophia's more aristocratic. You know, it's that vibes, fucking snooty-ass lady. I said, that's not okay. She just laughed and said, darling, you're just hormonal. You'll see I'm right. What a condescending asshole.
You're just hormonal.
I told her to get the hell out of our house if she wasn't going to be respectful.
Well, of course.
Now, my husband said I overreacted and should have been more understanding. Since
Oh, wait.
naming
What?
Is
Say that again?
Her husband said she was overreacted. He should have been more understanding.
Oh, this is the supportive husband that you had a baby with?
There you go. See, she does deserve to take you know, she did that, not him. Since naming is emotional for his mom, too.
What?
It's not her kid, I told him. And now he's sulking, too, and she's passive-aggressively texting me about how I'm being way too sensitive. Am I overreacting?
No, not
Mina.
even a little bit. Oh my
Jeez
God!
Louise. Who
do you know what?
are
This is-
these
Do you know who
people?
this woman is? This grandmother is the kind of woman that you're like, hey, don't cut my kid's hair while they're staying over. And then what's she do? She cuts their hair.
And she's, you know what she also probably is? She's probably one of those snooty old ladies. She's like, don't call me grandma. Call me he-hoo or Fifi. You know what I'm
knew
talking
someone
about?
Like that. They had this whole weird name for their grandkids.
Oh my
called-
God, it's
I was
so
like, you know,
obnoxious.
why don't you just have them call you grandma?
Right? They're like, I'm
Because there's a whole
because
word
they
that's
don't
been
want to
used.
age themselves.
So I'm nanny. I'm nan.
I'm Hanny. Yeah, exactly.
I'm nan.
Well, Nan's kind of cute because it's like Nan or Nana. But like, there's so...
It's not grandma.
No, but they don't have to always be grandma. There's okay, so there's like the traditional names like Yaya and Mima, but there's a new thing now where women who don't want to be viewed as old make up a random name that has nothing to do with like established Gigi, Mimi, hee-haw. I mean, hee-haw's probably not one. I was gonna say hoo-ha, but I don't think anyone's calling their
Did you ever watch Hee Haw when you were young?
No, but I was gonna say I don't think anyone's calling their grandma hoo-ha.
I hope not.
Hoo-ha! Wait Where's my hoo-ha? I'm going to my hoo-ha's house.
You're gonna make me die here.
Hoo-ha. I'm gonna call you with my hoo-ha from now on.
Wow.
Yeah, instead of calling you my friend, that's my hoo-ha right there.
That's terrible.
Where's my hoo-ha?
Yeah, but this is the kind of grandma that...
Oh, just narcissist.
Yeah, she. When you say, please don't give the kids sugar, she's gonna load them up on sugar.
Say, baby, I'm not giving them kids whatever they want.
That's right.
Baby, they's kids.
And I to a degree, I understand that, me and grandma.
Well,
I do think there are some parents that get carried away with, the rules and regulations.
Sure.
I don't want you to kiss them. I
Sure.
don't want you to take them for outside.
Sure.
That's just a lot
That's
of...
crazy. But you can't rename your daughter-in-law's child. That's psychotic.
That is weird.
Absolutely crazy. I don't even know what to do. This reminds me of, remember that couple the other week we were doing a letter where the mother and the son were conspiring against his wife to rent her the house, even though they said they didn't tell the truth about it. It's that kind of weird upper class, strange sort of like family versus the wife situation.
Well,
it's very odd.
Mother-in-laws can be they have a reputation.
Insane.
They have a reputation.
Insane.
Now, in my lifetime, now I've never been married, but I've been in some long-term relationships. And in my lifetime, I've had a wonderful mother-in-law.
Have you?
And I've had a crazy-ass mother-in-law.
Oh, well.
And, they're just...
You never know.
there are some great ones, but there are lots of Lulus out there.
That's another name they call themselves. Call me a Lulu. Don't call
Aunt
me
Lulu.
Grandma. Call me your Lulu.
Little Lulu.
Oh my
God.
Christ on a crack. I don't even know what advice to give you other than run, girl. Get the baby and get out.
Yeah, I think the husband needs to step up.
He needs to, if he's gonna say we both had this baby, he needs to act like he gives a shit about the name that you gave her and stop acquiescing to his mother.
What's this thing that he said? His
overreacting.
This is a very emotional event for his mother.
Like, how?
What does his mother do?
Right.
She didn't do anything.
I get it. Like, she's happy to have a grandkid, but
but she's just creating trouble. She's just creating trouble.
The name is oh my God. And Sophia is not a better name than Evie.
Well,
Evie's
I like the name
much
Sophia.
cuter. Well, I don't mind it, but I think Evie's
I don't
a better
necessarily think. I think there. Listen, unless it's a crazy name, and I've heard some crazy names.
I've heard crazy names too.
But
I love the name Evie. I love
Granite.
that name.
I don't think a girl's
Granite?
name should be Granite.
Well, no, nobody should be named Granite. That's a rock.
Yeah, well, I've heard of Granite.
I mean, but if you name her Amethyst, a gem
Amethyst
is
is
much.
fine.
You're a ruby.
Well, I am a ruby.
So there you go. You're named after an inanimate object.
Did I tell you what? Last week, when I was hosting that little party,
Yeah.
I had a bunch of people come up, and I had them be my background singers.
Oh, fun.
Kind of like Bette Midler had with the Harlettes.
Yes, yes.
And I said to the AI, I said, what's a kind of a name like Harlettes that I could call them background singers? And the AI told me any kind of name like that would be inappropriate.
Well, here's the thing.
So I called them the Gems.
I like
Ruby
that.
and the Gems.
Ruby and the Gems.
Yeah.
Or Ruby and the Jewel Box.
Oh, that's nice.
That's yeah.
That would have been fun. Maybe next year.
Yeah, Ruby and her trinkets.
Oh,
Love
the
that.
trinkets.
Ruby and the trinkets.
Oh,
Ruby and her trinkets.
How did I miss that? How did I miss that?
I
You know
love
what?
that.
Next week, or next year, I'm going to do that.
Well, listen here. We're gonna have to bleep this out. Maybe I don't know. I might be able to say it in a way. So I've always wanted to front a jazz band, a big jazz band.
Because you're so jazzy.
I am very jazzy. I'm a great jazz singer. I love to sing jazz. But anyways,
She also loves jizz.
I love jizz. But I've always wanted to say, do a big band and me and beautiful gowns. Anyways, I've always wanted to be called Louvel and the Fagettes.
Oh, that would be inappropriate.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be fabulous.
No, I don't think so.
We just said jizz and we can't say fagettes.
Well, actually, I feel like the problem with it is, and here's my main issue with it.
Okay.
Is that it's like the N-word. If you're a part of that
Right.
that particular culture,
Right.
it's okay for you to
Which
say
I
it.
am.
Right. Which is fine. But when people would be say not in our culture, and they would be like, hey, we're going to go sit down and see Louvel and really uncomfortable saying
Oh,
that.
I love it.
But but they might not share it because they were too uncomfortable, and so it could actually kind of hurt your
Oh
marketing
yeah, sure. I mean, it's not
ability.
going to happen, girl. How am I going to afford a big jazz band?
Well, because when I die, I'm going to leave everything to you.
Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Everything is like
Everything is a cardboard box full
about
of
$1.95.
Yeah, exactly, girl. You ain't got shit to give me.
Oh, I do think you could. I do think you could figure out how to get a big band.
This top would be perfect to sing a jazz
I
show
know.
in.
Yeah.
It just needs a few
Hey,
rhinestones.
listen, we're talking about doing. I was talking to somebody the other day.
Mm-hmm.
They came into the office.
Okay.
And I was talking to her, and she was one of the founders of the cabaret shows here in Seattle.
Really?
That we're thinking about doing next year.
Oh,
So that's kind of exciting.
I love that.
Yeah, exciting.
We're thinking of actually. I met a guy.
I know you did.
I met a guy. Well, I've met several over
know
the
you do.
years, hundreds of times.
That's
but
right.
Sometimes all at once. But I met a guy a few weeks ago. I think I
Yeah?
told you about this. He runs a fabulous sort of cabaret festival
that's
in
just it.
Philadelphia
That
called
was-
the Cannonball
And
Festival.
I was talking to her about that festival and how we were thinking about doing that one. And she
Yeah.
said, well, you definitely should both.
do the one here.
Yeah, do the one here.
Both of them. Let's do
So,
both of them.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
So you might see us in a cabaret near you very
well,
soon.
hopefully. That's
Yeah.
hopefully. I love the idea of doing that.
Oh my God! Of
Yeah.
course.
We need to
Absolutely.
get on that, girl.
We do. We need to write it down.
We need
have
to
write
get
it.
on that.
We need to write it. We could even, we could do.
What?
We could even polish up our old one.
Oh, yes.
And kind of expand on it.
Well, yes.
And because it's already written.
Yeah.
These audiences aren't going to have seen it, and we
That's
could just
true.
polish that turd up. It wasn't a turd. It was great.
Oh, it was really
We
a
just
good little
polish it up a
show.
little bit, and then
Actually, there was several. It was a whole series.
there's a whole arc. But the first one, the one that we did a couple of times,
That's right.
to much success.
Yes.
I think that we could polish that up and bring it to a bigger audience and take it to some festivals.
That would be a lot of fun.
We'd have to stretch it out a little bit, but that's okay.
You know who I'd like to stretch out? That horrible mother.
And
who
that
wants
was
to-
the whole show, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Punching Judys.
No. No, listen.
I was afraid you were going to say something horrible.
Oh no, that mother-in-law, she needs to be put on one of those racks and stretched
Oh, like
out.
one of those old-timey medieval torture
That's
devices?
right.
Yeah, I mean, she's rotten.
She's a terrible human.
Rotten.
Terrible human. That's all. I
Nadja
can say.
Bambina, you're fucked.
Oh,
That's all I'm
know.
going to say.
I just wonder what can you? I guess you could keep the baby away from her and listen. You could just say, hey, listen. Until you call her by her appropriate name,
Yeah.
you do not have visiting rights.
No.
You
And
that's
if
sad
the
for
husband has a
baby
problem
because,
with it, well, no, but the husband has a problem. He said, "Well, you can't see the baby either."
No, it's weird.
It's weird.
Why
It's
is
weird.
it? What is it with mother-in-laws?
But it's everybody.
Do you have mother-in-laws?
I don't.
Have you ever had one?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, I mean no, because the person that I was engaged to that one time, they weren't very close to their mother. So it's probably for the best she wasn't my
That's
mother-in-law.
right. Oh well, I don't.
But Josiah's mother's a lovely woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lovely lady.
Oh, I
But
love
she's not my
that.
mother-in-law. Hopefully one day she will be.
Oh,
But we'll see. We'll see.
I love Josiah.
We love Josiah.
We say that every time.
We do.
I believe that it's like it's.
It's why he keeps listening. It's a good little ego boost for him while he's
Well,
making burger patties in the back.
He is. Listen, he is wonderful.
He's probably stamping some meat right now with a
Ooh,
hammer.
I like
or
someone
making some
stamping their meat.
raviolis, or who knows what he's doing. He's probably listening to this
Hey,
right now.
Did you see
scrubbing a pot?
Did I show you my big pile of sparkling water?
I did, yeah. Josiah Ruby's gotten on the sparkling water
I
addiction.
love that.
Y'all should start a cult.
Josiah. Yeah, it's the sparkling water cult.
My goodness gracious.
There is so many brands of that now.
There is- I mean-
basically it's can of sparkling water with barely a flavor.
It's a whisper.
It's a whisper of flavor.
Shh. I'm lime.
That's right. Hey, listen.
Shh. I'm peach.
That reminds me. When you do that, that looks like your poster for your next.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shh.
Oh, listen, we're going to talk a lot about this, but it's exciting this December. So, hey,
Yes. What?
I think we've.
I think that's it.
I think we've caused
I think
enough
we've
damage.
juiced this fruit as much as we can for the day.
Do you think so?
I think so. We rang it out. We took all the blood from the stone that we could.
Yeah.
And we put it in a glass and served it with some nice red wine made of sangria.
Oh, listen, I love sangria.
Well, let's go have a sangria after this.
What's your favorite? Do you like a white sangria or a red sangria?
I love a red sangria. I prefer white wine, but when it comes to sangria, I prefer red sangria.
Well, I had never had a white sangria.
It's good.
But I had one not too long ago.
Yeah.
The gal had stone fruits are really in right now.
Oh, I love them.
You know, it's stone fruit
Love
time.
cherries.
And she had some cherries in it.
Yeah.
And she had some peaches. Oh. And some apricots.
Okay.
And then the ice and it was a very different. I mean, it was still essentially a sangria, fruit and wine.
Right.
But it was very different, and I liked it.
I love it.
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
I love me a sangria. We should go get one.
Oh, you know what else I like this time of year? When it comes to alcohol, well, actually,
A margarita?
No, but I'm kind of over a margarita.
Well, what do you want? Just spit it out, girl.
Oh, I like that. I like those those Italian drinks that I had.
Oh, an Aperol Spritz.
That's right.
I was talking to one of my
love
clients
those.
about those the other day.
They're
she
just
said
so
yeah,
light, but they're a little bitter, kind of like
just
you.
like you. Oh, we told the same joke at the same time. Isn't that just like us?
That is just like us.
Well, girl.
So let's go get drunk.
Let's go get drunk.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
We should get some
pizza and an Aperol Spritz.
Well, that would be nice.
The best of both worlds for us.
But we also should get some liquor sponsors.
Oh yeah, the absolute cocktails.
That's right.
This could be our interior illusions lounge.
We always are having interior delusions.
Yeah, we are. All right,
It
friends.
would be the interior delusions. Anyways,
Okay.
So we'll see you next week for our next regularly scheduled episode of
The Punching Judys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Told you
You're
once
crazy.
and
Oh, my
we
God.
told you twice. We can't recommend our bad advice. We can't recommend our bad advice.